So this is a lessons learned video, mostly for me, but thought I'd warn others. Okay, so if you're a writer and you've done any of the Kindle publishing, the self-publishing, uh, at least in 2015 um, and 2016, uh, it was there was this whole spiel that you had to go through to publish. You had to get everything formatted to a certain way. Now, I haven't done anything in recent years, so I don't know what it's like now. But if you did any of that kind of stuff back then, 2015, 2016, 2017, so it was a pain. It was a pain. It really was. Now, Clara and the Rat King, just 10 chapters long, and it was just under like 30K words, so it was really not that long. I wrote the bulk of it in 4 days and then sent it off for editing through another writer friend. Now the thing is that originally, because it was supposed to be like a 1800s-esque, European-esque kind of story, at least some of the setting is very similar to like 1800s Europe. And so originally I had a sort of like the character was 17. She's kind of coming into her own as an adult. But I changed it to 18 because even though it's historically a little bit younger, I was like, I don't feel comfortable with her being 17. I want her to be 18. But I didn't change that until the very end after all my editing and stuff. Now, here's the thing. I was still married to my very abusive ex-husband at that time. And there was another story that I tried to publish and I took down. It's called A Midnight's Memory. I had taken longer than 4 days to write it. And it was supposed to be like a, kind of like a dream walking, Inception sort of type thing, but with fae and magic and things like that. And it was supposed to be like someone who was put in a coma after a car accident and kind of discovering that she can dream walk and that she actually is part fae. And she finds a way to wake up, but she the things that she learned and discovered during her dream walking, she finds out about a great evil that she's like, okay, I need to kind of figure out how to combat this. And so it was kind of like her journey to discovering who she really was, her fae parentage, because apparently one of her parents lied about that kind of stuff. And so she was kind of like a weird breed. Like basically she wasn't her typical like half fae, half human. Like she had, it's like, like hidden genetics, like the like genes that are passed on that you may not see for a few generations. That was the sort of thing, because technically on the fae side, she wasn't supposed to be able to dream walk. Like apparently that was a very particular strain of fae. So that was what I wanted to do with like A Midnight's Memory. And I had written a lot of it, but I didn't have anyone edit it. So that was like my first bad thing, right? Like you should have someone else edit it. But I tried to publish it because I was like, I just want to see if anyone would ever be interested in this. Thing is that I didn't put much attention on the file being used. I was so done with the whole formatting thing. Like I was like, okay, I have it all formatted. I just need to upload the file. Come to find out for The Midnight's Memory that after I tried to publish it, my ex-husband went in and he uploaded one of the first drafts of it, which was like maybe 3-4 pages long at most, like not even that much. And it was when I first started A Midnight's Memory, not the full book. So that's what was published. And then he deleted everything that I had for A Midnight's Memory except that first rough draft. So when I saw a 1-star review, someone's like, what the hell is this? Because they bought it in good faith thinking it was going to be an actual book. And I went in and looked and I was like, what is this? That's not my book. And then when I tried to find it, the reason why I know my ex-husband is because he gloated about it later. See, side note, abusive, very abusive. So here's the thing when it comes to Clara and the Rat King. So I had done all the formatting, I had done all this stuff. The only thing that I changed was her age from 17 to 18. That's the only thing I changed. Now, I didn't reread because I thought everything was what it's supposed to be. So when I did the whole formatting, I was just looking at the formatting, not even what the text was. The description should have said 18, not 17. I published that in like 2016, right? One of my friends, because I posted a video about someone doing like a 1-star review and how my petty revenge for that 1-star, because it wasn't even like, it's just the way that this person was literally going around and trying to find Nutcracker Prince like retellings and just bashing at every single author, nitpicking about, oh, this is not what I like and this is not this and I can't stand that. And she's just going on and on and on. Anything that has adult situations, she was being like, you're immoral, you're this. And I think she was like Catholic or something like that. I don't remember the exact religion, but it was something of Christendom. So yeah, and so she's just going around bashing people, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to blow up all these authors and give links to these authors because, they deserve, some people to actually look at their stuff. And I bought a few of them actually. I have a lot of books I haven't read yet, so I haven't gotten through all of them, but a couple of them are really awesome. So anyway. My friend said that they decided to go check out the review because they had read my book. And they said, wait, didn't you say like 2 years ago that you had changed the age to 18? I was like, yeah. And she's like, well, it says 17 still. And I was like, are you kidding me? So I went to my author page, like signed into, my KDP author page, and where you can edit your stuff, right? And it said 17. When I looked at last edited, it said last edited 2016, but it was a couple, like 2-3 something days after I had published the book itself. So I was like, oh, since my ex-husband's MO is to go and mess with stuff, and because he did have access to all my passwords back then, and me, I never went and looked at it. Like I had even said in the other video that I don't care. I haven't really gone on there. I don't really pay attention to it. Yeah, I didn't because I thought everything was what it's supposed to be. And it wasn't. So I'm like, all these years, apparently it's been saying 17 when the character's supposed to be 18. I'm not happy about that. So I took Clara the Rat King off. I unpublished it. I was like, I'm just going to go through and nitpick what was there, and I'm going to, see what file was uploaded. And you know what? I'm just going to go through whatever I have because he wasn't able to see. I put the full Clara the Rat King on an external hard drive, the one that has 18. But I had a copy of it on my computer when I was uploading that file to publish to KDP. So I have mine that has 18, but I don't know if he changed the one on the computer and upload, like when I was uploading that one and I just didn't pay attention to the age thing. Either way, I took it down because who knows what else he might have put in there if people have been buying my book all these years, and who knows what else. Because again, like I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, I'm just so busy trying to get this published. And then I did the description and I left it there and I didn't look back at all. all, like, even when I went to look at this 1-star review, I didn't even look at the description of my book because I didn't care. I was like, it is what it is. I was just looking at the review. So when my friend said, hey, you said that you had changed it, right? Well, it's not. And I was like, ugh, okay. So I took it down. Now, I had been planning to take it down because I wanted to add more to the story, because this was like a very short, condensed version to what I really wanted to do with the story. There's going to be a lot more involved, with more characters and more scenery and stuff, and kind of more backstory to the Rat King and everything to do with like how he became to be. So there's going to be a bit more to it. So I was already planning to do that. So this is just kind of up the timeline, because I was like, I didn't want, and I mean, like, I get that there are some stories where, fairy tales, especially the female, or, you know, like the young woman is under the age of 18, because it's fantasy, and also because that is typical of many, many years before, where, you know, young women would marry or be in a relationship that's, you know, of a sexual nature. So, but I'm not comfortable with that. That's just me, that I'm not comfortable with that as far as my character. So, like, I want a consenting adult, 18 years old, by my modern standards. And you don't have to agree, fine, but that's me. So hearing from my friends that it says 17, not 18, really upset me. And I was like, okay. So I took it down. I'm really frustrated because the like I don't even remember the exact post date for the actual Clara and the Rat King, like the very short novel, but the description was edited a few days after that date. So, because when I looked and I compared, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, okay. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to take the whole thing down. I'm going to go look and see if, you know, what was uploaded, anything else was changed, and then rework it, and I'll eventually republish it. But I took that down. So I'm going to go and edit the other video. So I don't have the link and say edit, like I took this down. So I'm sorry, but still, please look at these authors. I also had been drawing a lot more recently. If you'd seen any of my other videos where I've started to get back into art. So I started re-upping the cover art for Clara and the Rat King. And this is not final. This is just like the start of it. So, you know, they're supposed to be like the Rat King, it like has a hand here, and then you got the Nutcracker Prince like looking on from behind. So it's not done by any stretch of the means, but by the imagination. But yeah, so I've started with that already. I started this, I think, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. I started it towards the beginning of March, but anyway, I thought I would do a video about that because I'm mostly angry at myself, because it's like I can't be too angry at my ex, only because that's his MO. He did it with A Midnight's Memory, and he gloated about it afterwards. And it's like, I put so much work into that book, and then he just deleted everything. And then, like, he switched it. Like I had published it, and then, like, there was an edit a couple days after the day that I had originally published it. And because it shows you your history of, like, when you published or unpublished stuff. So A Midnight's Memory, when I published it, like 3, 4, 5 something days later, it was like republished again, and it was republished with that rough draft that was like 4 pages long of like nonsense that I was just starting out with. So, like, when I was barely understanding the concept of what I wanted to do with the story. So I'm mad. Yeah, I'm mad at him, but I'm mad that I was not invested enough in my own work to actually pay attention and look after the fact. Like, I should have checked everything after I like separated and divorced him. Like, I should have, like, I changed all my passwords, like, not quick enough because he was still doing things in 2017, even after we separated. So I didn't, unfortunately, wise up and start changing passwords until almost 2018 and then into 2018. So, like, he still had access to some of my accounts and he's still like sending messages. Like, he had my Facebook like password. Like, it was, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Like, huh. So, like, I'm mad at him, of course, but I'm mad at myself more that I was not paying attention. And it's like, if you are not comfortable with something, or if you are not okay with a product and like you don't want your name on something, then, you know, you have to do your due diligence. So this is kind of a lessons learned, that pay attention to your stuff, but also pay attention if anyone has access to your stuff. If you, I hope no one would be in the situation that I was when you're, you know, in an abusive like relationship like that. But you know, if you have someone that, you know, you may not completely trust, or just even if it's a friend, but you don't want anyone to touch your stuff, it's yours. Especially like if you're a writer and artist, you don't want anyone to steal anything or alter anything, then just pay attention, make sure, because if someone has access to something of yours, then yeah, that's, I know. I'm I'm so mad at myself. I was like really, really frustrated. I like screamed in my pillow. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is not what I wanted, and this is not aligning with my views or my values in this. So of course I don't want that there. So I took the whole thing down. I haven't looked through all of it. It's just anything that mentioned her age was altered, so he did his due diligence with that. Um there was one paragraph that did not, the structure was really weird, so I think he messed that up too. And that's towards the beginning, so I haven't looked through the rest of it. That was like within the first like 2-3 chapters, so I haven't even gone the rest of the way to see what else may have been altered, because again, like, I was like so busy formatting stuff that I was not paying attention to the file, because he's done that before where he would take something and you'll have rough draft and final draft, and he will delete the final draft and he would put final, like he would rename rough draft as final draft. Like, that's what he did with like something else that I didn't publish, but, and I'm not gonna say the name of it because it's it was something like personal that I wasn't sure I wanted to publish, but he did that before with that one. And then given what he did with the Midnight's Memory, so it's like like this dude was already bad enough, but then he goes through my stuff and just these little things. So I'm mad at myself for not paying attention, not actually looking at stuff. And honestly, I considered Clara and the Rat King as a throwaway. I thought I wasn't really an author because it was just 10 pages long, like 10, not 10 pages, like 10 chapters long. And I didn't think it was that great. Like, I really had so much doubt on myself that I thought it was just a throwaway thing. Like, yeah, I poured my heart into it, but I still considered it a throwaway and not worth too much. So I didn't bother with promos. I didn't bother with, you know, it's also because when I first started out, only like 3 or 4 people were interested, people that I knew. And people kept saying that, oh yeah, I'll totally buy it. And then they didn't because they thought they'd get a free copy. Because of course, you know, artists should never be paid for their stuff, right? Like, oh my gosh, no, pay people, okay? I don't care if you know them. Some people might be willing to give you a discount, but seriously, like, you should pay for your friends, family members. Like, if they're an artist, if they're a writer, like, pay them. Like, it's not just some, like, hobby to them. But that's the thing, is that I treated Clara and the Rat King like a hobby. Like, it wasn't that significant, that great. And part of it was because people just wanted me to send them a free copy and they didn't want to actually buy it from me. they didn't want to actually support my, dreams of being a writer. And of course, there's my ex-husband and the things he did. And like, oh yeah, you wrote like 10 chapters. Great. That's great. Yeah, he definitely had a certain tone whenever he was complimenting me. And then there was my dad, who told me that writing is a hobo job and I should not waste my time because no one will actually care about my characters. They're just made up and they're just frivolous, pretty much. So I didn't really have a support system. I had like 3 people that actually cared and thought, yes, if you want to be a writer, be a writer. So I had like no people like other than those 3 that were on my side. So I had all that and I let that doubt creep in, and I didn't give enough credit to myself for the fact that I wrote all that in like 4 days, less than 4 days. If you count actual hours, probably closer to like 48 hours, maybe a bit more than that if you do collective, because I did it during 12-hour work days. And it was when I was stuck in a certain, like in the Navy, and I was stuck in a certain skiff or whatever where I had like nothing to do other than watch stuff. So it's like, what am I going to do other than, okay, I'm on watch for 12 hours, but I have a computer. So there you go, Any actual work that they gave me, I did first and foremost, but in all those intervening hours, what am I going to do? I was bored out of my mind. If you've ever been stuck on watch in the military, but you happen to have a computer, what do you think you're going to do? So there you go. But still, because I doubted myself so much, because I didn't think it was that great, I didn't put any attention on it. And so I'm kind of mad at myself. I shouldn't, as far as the whole doubt thing, I shouldn't be mad at myself. Like, I shouldn't doubt myself, but I'm just mad that I didn't pay more attention. Like, I just thought it was a throwaway, so I thought, who cares? And, no one's going to really care about this. But, so, please learn from my mistake. That doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter how much time has passed, especially if someone has had access to your work. Please check it. Because, like, I'm not kidding. Like that's like 7 years ago. 7 years that has been out there and not the corrected version that I wanted. So, yeah. So I'm going to revamp it, and I'm going to do a new, I'm still working on the new cover. So eventually I will republish it, because you know what? I should take pride in my work. The fact that I actually did that, the fact that I wrote something and published it at all, the fact that I took time in that, I should be proud of myself for that. I should be proud that I accomplished something, But just please be careful. Don't do what I did. Don't like just think of something as throwaway. No, every piece of work is important, is special. Okay, you should be proud of that. Don't think that something is insignificant. Even if other people may not be as excited about it, the fact that you did it is amazing, and you should celebrate that. So please pay attention. Please, yeah, don't do what I did. So I definitely will let people know when I republish it, and I'll go and edit the video. And yeah, and I have like other videos to do. So anyway, I thought I'd get that out of the way.